Today I am guiding you through a gentle hip mobility workout. This is perfect for beginners, anyone who's doing prehab or rehab, and honestly, anyone who spends a lot of their day sitting at a desk. When we sit for extended periods of time, our hips get tighter, which tends to lead to low back pain, bad posture, and a myriad of other issues. So doing a quick little workout like this one will help relieve those issues. You don't need any equipment, so let's get to it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, click the bell for notifications, like this video, and be sure to come back to this mobility playlist for more. Today we have 6 exercises, so let's get started. First one, you're going to lay down on the ground and then prone circles. So we're doing 5 reps per move per side. So you're going to lift one knee, hands can't be out by the sides. You're going to lift one knee in towards your chest and then try to let it drop down naturally. Eventually your foot will probably touch down first. And then slowly push the foot along the floor. And now we're going to go the other direction. Bring that knee up and out towards the side, and then gently lift and back down. If you need an assist, feel free to use your hands when you start doing this. Here we go for rep 2. Drop that knee out to the side and roll down. Coming back up. So especially right here, this is where you might feel like, oh, this is hard work. And if you feel like you're getting some clicks in your hips, you might hear your hip clicking over. That is okay. That's what we're working on, to try and relieve some of that tension and make it stop doing quite as much clicking. Up and down. My hips click too. 2 more here, and then we'll switch sides. Knee comes in, drop it down to the side, let that foot touch down, and slowly lower. Same exact idea, lift it up and out to the side, and up, and then down. 1 more here, and out. So these are great, very gentle movements that pretty much anybody can do, and it's a great way to just warm up the hips, get them feeling a little more mobile. Over to the other side. Note that one side may not go down as far as the other, definitely like my left right here. And then slide open, but you might also notice a change by the time you get through that 5th rep. Lift that knee up, drop it down to the side, let the foot fall down. My left side is definitely tighter from my right. And slide up, oof, and then down. 3 more, just like that. Lift the knee up, open out to the side, let the foot fall down, slide, and the reverse. This hip does not want to let go, I can tell. And up, 2 more. So you can always use your hands to give your hip a little bit of an assist if you need one. 1 more of these. And back. Bring those legs down, shake them out. We're going to do a little piriformis stretch. So both feet are going to be flat on the floor. Push your back flat into the ground. And I'm going to bring my left leg over my right. I'm going to take a big step toward my right and then let my knees fall down to the left. Try to keep both shoulders down on the ground. Just breathe So we're going to do 5 breaths here. That top leg is just adding on to gravity, giving us a little bit of an assist to get a deeper stretch into the piriformis. Should be feeling this right in here. And that right hip. Two more breaths. One more. And now ever so gently lift the knees back up and then uncross your legs. Cross over to the other side. So right leg is crossing over left. I'm going to take a big step over to my left and drop my knees down to the right. Now we're hitting that left piriformis. Breathe. We have 5 breaths here. So this is a great stretch. If you find you especially have low back pain, this one is a really good reliever. And it does a lot in a very short amount of time, which is part of why I like it so much. Two more breaths here. Last one. And then ever so gently lift the knees back up. You can heel toe that foot back. Uncross the legs. Feet are flat on the floor. You may want to give them a little bit of space. They don't need to be super close to your butt. And we're going to do 5 hip bridges. These are always really helpful for getting glute engagement, and they do a lot to relieve back pain. So thinking about squeezing your glutes, pulling your heels back towards the rest of your body, towards your glutes. Lift up, and I want you to lift all the way up to your shoulders. And then gently, slowly lower down, thinking about going vertebrae by vertebrae. Butt is the last thing to touch down, and again. Squeeze the glutes. Curl. You're literally like unpeeling a sticker onto the floor or off of the floor and down. If you find your knees getting really wiggly and they like to move side to side, you can use a ball in between your legs. I find that's really helpful because all of a sudden you get more engagement in the legs and you have something to hold on to. Sometimes it's just nice to have that extra feedback. 2 more. Pulling those heels back, squeeze the glutes, lift up. Gently lower down. Here we go, 1 more. Squeeze the glutes, lift up. If you are loving this stretch and this exercise, I want you to add on. Just try and reach underneath your body, clasp your hands together, and lift even higher. Squeeze the glutes up towards the ceiling. And then let that go. Slowly lower down. Ooh. Bring your knees in towards your chest. Shake that out. We're going to come up. I'm going to roll myself up. Nice and gentle. We're going to go into a half kneeling position. So if you want, grab a towel or a bolster for this. If your knees are bad, you can also do this on an elevated surface. So 1 knee back. And I want you to really think about, you don't need to have a 90-degree angle. You're not creating a box here. You're actually finding a way to push into that front leg. So it's okay if your knee goes beyond your toes as long as it does not cause any pain in your knees. But But you really want to have this nice long line here, and you'll feel it in that back hip flexor pretty much immediately. So if you want a little extra stability, have your hands down on the ground. You can use a wall, whatever you've got. Breathe. And then we're going to push back from here and straighten that front leg. Bring those front toes up and get a little hamstring stretch. So you don't necessarily need to try to bring your nose to your knee or anything. You'll feel this stretch. Just think about straightening your back. Chest is proud. And then here we go. Back again for round 2. Making sure to exhale in this position because it will allow those hip flexors to just relax a little bit more. Thinking about butt pushing back, hips are facing forward. And here we go. Hamstring stretch. Again, if you want to use a chair or the wall, because it's hard to bend over, that's totally fine. You're still thinking about having a nice straight back. So you're just leaning like you're gonna reach. And you'll feel this all through the hamstring. And again, 2 more here. And push back. So again, if this is hard on your knees, you can always do this from an elevated position, like putting your foot on a chair. Then you don't have to have your knee down on the ground. And bringing that knee in. Take a breath. We're going to switch sides. So find that kneeling, half kneeling position. And again, you really want to have that back hip pointing down towards the ground. So you can really push into that front leg, right? Just adding my weight onto this front leg adds a little bit more intensity. So you can always hold onto a wall, a chair, whatever you've got. And then leaning backward. Hamstring stretch. This is 2. Making sure to exhale as we get into this hamstring stretch and the hip flexor stretch. Trying to think about letting go of this leg. You don't need to be holding on. There should not be any tightness here. Four. Can always reach forward. And 5. Beautiful. Coming back. We're going to do some hip swivels. So coming down onto your bum, feet are a little wider than hip width apart. And you can also think about it because I want to bring a knee down and I don't want it to get in the way of this other foot, right? So I just want to have enough room that those knees are not hitting my feet. Hands can rest behind your back, trying to give you some support and keep your back tall. And here we go. I'm going to drop my right leg down, internally rotating, and my left leg is going to externally rotate. And then I'm going to lift that left leg Lift the right leg, other direction. Lift that right leg and left knee, other direction. This is 2. If you find that you are kind of scooching forward, your butt is walking up the mat, totally normal, that's fine. You can just readjust yourself. And up. 3. You will notice one side is probably going to be different than the other. Totally fine. Normal, right? We all usually have a tighter side. And depending on where you are today, your legs may not go, your knees might not touch the ground, right? My knees are not touching the ground, and that's totally okay. You're just going to let them go to where they fall naturally without any effort. You don't need to be pushing anything down. Gravity is doing enough for us. See, again, right side a little more open than my left. That's okay. Coming back. You may get a few pops or clicks in doing this particular exercise as long as they're not painful. That's totally normal and that's fine. You can expect that as you're moving through these, your body's going to let you know. One more exercise, but I want to show you a great stretch for if you have trouble getting into this butterfly or it feels really awkward for you, because this next move is a butterfly scooch, and we are going to be kind of moving our butts forward and back. But before we do that, I just want to show you this nice stretch. So coming down onto your back, you're going to cross your ankles, and then you're going to lift your knees up. Try to reach for those hands, shins, whatever you can reach, and you're just bringing your legs in toward you. So you're thinking about bringing the feet in, and I'm using my elbows to push my knees open. I'm still keeping my back flat on the floor. So this is a really nice stretch. That's also really safe for the back if you have any back pain or injury. Hello, Pepperoo. And release. Gently roll yourself up. So finding that butterfly position, and you're thinking about keeping your knees as low as they can be. Hands are behind your back, and you're just pushing those knees down as you think about opening up. You're going to scooch your butt back, so you're opening up this butterfly, and then you're going to press forward and close that same diamond position. Here we go. Open. Thinking about pushing the knees down, but you don't need to actually push them with your hands. And close. Open. Close. 2 more. Open. And close. Open. And close. So because I'm using my hands, they're taking most of my weight. And that's totally fine, right? You can also do this where you keep your butt where it is and you think about moving your legs forward, right? You're bringing your feet in toward you and then releasing just a little bit. Bring the feet toward you, release, right? If that is difficult to hold your body weight up, this is another alternative that is a great option. You can try to do it without your hands, which is a little bit more work. So you might feel your hips kind of complaining a little more when you do that one. But it's a great alternative, and it's a great way to practice both variations. And again, don't worry if your hips or your knees are not lower down onto the ground. The more you practice these kinds of exercises, the more you find you can release that tension and get into these positions faster and easier. Straighten those legs out. Go ahead and shake them out. We're gonna extend those legs long. I want you to think about Just pulling your knees up a tiny bit, reach underneath, give yourself a hug. Again, just kind of releasing the back for a moment. You can fold over. And then gently, gently roll yourself up. Thanks so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed this gentle hip mobility. These 6 exercises are a great way to just get those hips moving a little more, potentially reducing low back pain, improving your posture, improving your gait. So that's part of the reason why I work so much on my hips, and I hope that you enjoyed this. If you did, please consider hitting that like button. Make sure to subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss a single workout, and leave me a comment. Let me know if there's something in particular that you want to work on and I can make a video for you. Thank you so much for being here.